Hi, everybody, and welcome to Buzz Bowling Arena. It's Jeff Matthews and Levi Gilbert. It is time for the start of the 2020 conference basketball season. Tonight, the Wampus Cats and Lady Cats playing host to Fort Smith Southside, the Lady Mavericks and the Mavericks. Levi, good to see you again. Hope your Thanksgiving and your Christmas and your New Year were good. It's been that long since I've got the chance to work with you. I've seen you, but I haven't worked with you since then.
Spent a lot of time in my house.
Yes.
That's always good.
That's not bad.
I tell you, after football, it's like I hibernate.
Yes.
And I get ready for conference basketball season.
And it is here tonight, and we are just moments away. You can see the Lady Cats lined up on the free throw line facing the flag, and we'll have the opening ceremonies here in just a moment. These are two teams going way different directions. Conway comes in 11-3. They are ranked very high in the state. We'll tell you more about that as we get started here in a moment. The Southside girls are struggling, to say the least. They've got a brand new coach, came from a high school over in Oklahoma. His name's Robert Brunk. They are 0-12. And they are running into a buzzsaw here tonight in the Lady Cats. So we'll tell you more about this game in just a few moments. Right now we're going to stand and we will ask everyone to remove your caps. That's what we say. The public address announcers say that. So otherwise, we're going to have the national anthem right now. Good to have the Courtside Cats here once again this year as they get things started in mid-season form for them. The Courtside Cats always do a great job, and we're excited to see this team play and the boys team. You got two teams in the Wampus Cats and Lady Cats, both ranked in the top 5 in the state. This Southside team, again, is 0-12, and they are going to run into a team that they will not match up with very closely, and that's been the case throughout the year, but we'll play it out and see what happens. Essence Norwood, Shiloh Laranjo, Lauren Redding, Saria Reed, and Ari Rice are the starters for Robert Brunk. Again, their new head coach. He was a coach over at Sallisaw, Oklahoma, on I-40, a little bit past Fort Smith, and has made the trip across the border and is now the head coach for the Lady Mavericks. And again, they are 0-12, conference opener for everyone tonight. And here come the starters for your Conway Lady Cats, and we will join Tim Roach for the introduction of them. There are your starters, introduced by public address announcer Tim Roach. You see the starters on your screen there. Let's take a minute to talk about these 5 young ladies. Now, T. Rector is starting tonight in place of Jaden Thomas. You remember Jaden from last year as a freshman started. She's been starting, but she's injured right now.
Yeah, Jaden Thomas out with a lower leg injury. Thought it was a little worse than initially than what they're thinking now, but still could be midway through conference play before we have her back in the starting lineup. So it's a huge loss for this team. She brings back a lot of experience. One of two really that bring back a lot of starting experience for this squad. And you hate to see it too, because they were just kind of getting their chemistry together at the tournament down in Duncanville, and now they're going to have to kind of find a new chemistry. But Rector has been playing so good. be interesting to watch her as the night proceeds.
So T. Rector gets to start in place of Jaden Thomas. The seniors Lydia York and Jada Pickens are starting, along with 2 freshmen. And if you haven't had a chance to pay attention to this team yet, that's right, there are 2 ninth graders who start and play significant minutes and who are going to be nationally recruited as their career goes on. It's already starting for this young lady, Chloe Clardy, freshman. She's a 5'9" point guard, she's a 5'9" guard. She'll play a little bit everywhere, but she is averaging 19 points a game and has already received offers from a who's who of major colleges. The first one came on April 25th, 2018. She was a 7th grader.
Right.
As a 7th grader, the University of Arkansas and Coach Mike Neighbors made an offer to number 13 there, Chloe Clardy. She hits both free throws. Lady Cats are on top early, 2-0. That's Norwood. She'll dribble in the paint. This team, not unlike most Ashley Hutchcraft coach teams, are great defenders. Clardy has it knocked away. Laranjo with the steal. And Chloe gets it back. Outlet pass to Jada Pickens. She and Lydia York, the seniors, out in front. And Jada Pickens gets the basket to go. Jada's averaging over 10 points a game through the first 14 games. This team 11-3 on the season.
I'll have to enunciate here, but we talked about Jaden and the starting experience she had last year. Well, of course, Jada Pickens has been starting for the last 2 years, and she's just really been unleashed this year as that lone returning senior with the most experience, and she's just made a difference and taken it up a level defensively.
Lydia York with the steal that time. Pickens step back, wants a 3 instead, finds T. Rector. That's York. Inside to Savannah Scott. Off the glass, no good. Savannah's picked up a couple of offers to play college basketball as well, including one just last week from former UCA head basketball coach Matt Daniel, who's up at Arkansas State. He made an offer to Savannah Scott 14 games into her high school career, and she scores from the baseline. Savannah is a 6'3" ninth grader, and a timeout is taken. 6:29 to play in the first quarter. We will stop with the teams on the court. 30 seconds, and we're back on Conway Court. Early on here, we are live tonight at Buzz Bowling Arena, and in real time, it's about 5:30. Normally, this game would be starting at about 6 o'clock, so in about a half hour would be the normal start to the game. We have moved everything up. Coach Clint Ashcraft, athletic director for Conway Schools, sending the announcement out earlier today that due to the storms that are expected later on tonight, in an effort to get the Fort Smith Southside student athletes and their families and supporters back home earlier in the evening, everything was moved up a little bit. So if you're just joining us, we were able to get word out this morning that our broadcast would begin at 5:30 instead of 6. Well, they started even before 5:30, so we're with you now. Hopefully you've been able to catch some of the game up to this point. 7-0 early on. That's Reed. The kick out to Redding. Skip pass to Norwood. Essence Norwood will drain the three-pointer, and it's 7-3 as Conway has the lead over Fort Smith Southside. Another whistle and a foul.
Had the chance to talk with Coach Hutchcraft this week. Just kind of getting the lay of the land since we don't do the non-conference games, getting a good feel for how that part of the season went. And she just had high praises about Tijuana Rector here and the big points that she's been able to put up. They wouldn't have finished in as good a spot as they did down in Duncanville if it wasn't for this senior right here, who she used the term about her and about Lydia York as well, is they're seniors but they're not like your typical seniors on the court because this is their first year to really get that starting experience. So it's just a little bit different expectations when you're coming in to that, and both of these seniors have really stepped up and given a lot of good production.
They were just about both involved in that. Ball goes out of bounds. Conway's going to keep it. We've mentioned Duncanville a couple of times. It's worth mentioning exactly what that is. It's the Sandra Meadows Classic, which is one of the premier girls high school basketball tournaments in the country, and it is an honor to be invited to play in that tournament, much less to go down there and have success. Chloe Clardy knocks down the three, much less to have success, and the Lady Cats have gone down there and had fantastic success over the years. This year, they go 4-1, I believe, in the tournament.
Yep.
I think 4 wins in the 5 games that they get to play down there.
Finished fifth.
The only loss came to the team that today I looked is ranked number 4 in the nation. And at the time, I believe they were ranked number 1 in the country.
Yep.
They've dropped a little bit. They're still unbeaten, so I'm not sure how they could fall as they've remained unbeaten, but they've dropped from 1 to 4, according to Max Preps. But that is elite competition, and they lost by 6.
Right.
Close.
And they led for most of that game as well.
Leading 12-3 here. Conference opener. Once again this year, we will have all of the conference home games live for you. There'll be playbacks throughout the week. In fact, more playbacks on Channel 5 and 585 than ever before. So if you miss either one of these two teams play, you'll have plenty of chances to see it. Not to mention on YouTube, you can see the replay there anytime. But you've got two teams that are ranked in the top 5 in the state, and it is definitely going to be worth paying attention to these two Conway basketball teams this year. 3-point basket goes in. Quick transition. Handoff to Scott. Goes out of bounds. Going to go to Southside. 12-6 our score.
Jada's always been pesky out there at the top of that 1-3-1, but she really has taken it to a whole other level this season.
Lydia York. Good move for Lydia York. The senior's averaging 6.8 points a game. Got her first 2 of the night there. 3-pointer by Norwood is missed. And Jada Pickens, she has it. 3-on-2. Clardy for 3. Too strong. Savannah Scott there to clean it up. Can't get the follow. It's Lauren Redding. Comes down with it for Southside. Good to be back with you.
I know.
Great basketball, great football season. Ended disappointing fashion, and it was heartbreaking up at Bentonville West to see the season end the way that it did. Had a few months away, and so back at it now with a good run through the next 2 months through conference and the state tournament.
And we should mention, if you're watching live tonight, you can engage with us on Twitter, 5 Sports Live, as well as Facebook, 5 Sports. Kathy Estes, longtime Conway Lady Cat watcher, checking in tonight from Weatherford, Oklahoma. You're
nice.
Familiar with that area?
Very. Must be where Henderson's playing tomorrow.
Yep, she said in between Haley's games from last night and tomorrow. And speaking of Haley Estes.
Yeah, big news from her.
The leading rebounder now for Henderson.
The career leading rebounder
from a
5'8" guard.
5'8" guard, yeah.
It's remarkable, but it's not surprising. What we have seen from Haley Estes from the time that she was very young on this court, how she has progressed and the great things that are going on for her. And so the Estes family have been big supporters of what we do for a long time, and we appreciate them. Hope you enjoy the broadcast and be safe over there. I know the reason we're playing now is because of severe weather, and they're having quite a bit of it over in Oklahoma as well. So stay safe wherever you might be tonight. Under 3 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Lady Cats up 14-6. Whistle and a foul. We've waited a while to get to see the Lady Cats play, and the Wampus Cats for that matter, and we'll have the game tonight, but then we've got to wait 2 weeks.
Yeah, kind of a strange scheduling. I mean, it's not a mistake or anything. It's just how things fell out this conference season. It's been a while, I think you said, since this happened, having 2 consecutive road games this early in the season.
Yeah, we had quite a few years where it really was, you played 4 Friday games, then 3 Tuesday games, or 3 Tuesday. There was some. It was 1 and 1 throughout the week. You played 1 road, 1 home. But it's been a while since it hasn't been that case, and that's the case this year. We will have a lot of home games in February, which could serve as to our advantage.
Coach Hutchcraft did bring that up this week when we talked because, they're expecting to have Jaden back in the starting lineup during the second half of conference play, and she talked about how helpful it'll be to have those home games later in the schedule when you're trying to bring back the sophomore. She's still a sophomore. I keep wanting to think that she's a junior because
right, I know what you mean.
Starting as a freshman last year, but
Pickens out in front, easy. 10-point lead for the Lady Cats and a timeout taken by Southside. We'll take it with them. 30 seconds and we're back on Conway Corp.
Located on Robinson Avenue next to Laurel Park, the Conway Regional Rehabilitation Hospital is one of only 4 licensed inpatient rehab hospitals in the entire state. Patients are cared for by specially trained staff under the direction of an on-site physician who specializes in rehabilitation medicine. Conway Regional Rehab Hospital, your choice for comprehensive care to bring you one step closer to home.
16-6 is our score. Conway on top of Fort Smith Southside. We mentioned that it will be a week from now, or 2 weeks from now, before we have another home game, and that'll be coming up on the 24th when we take on Little Rock Central here at Buzz Bowling Arena. In between, the Lady Cats and the Wampus Cats will be on the road at North Little Rock, at Cabot, and at Northside, and that is a murderer's row on the girls' side for sure. On the boys' side as well, it's not very easy, but that's going to be, I don't know, what's your expectation? Go 2-1? Would that be successful? They could go 3-0.
2-1, I think, would be phenomenal. You just don't know, especially with Jaden out. You got one of your best players unavailable. It's going to be a tough task playing on the road, especially since this team, they're 2 of their best players. They're freshmen.
Right.
And they're great freshmen, but they've never gone on the road and played in this environment. And like you said, the 7A Central, or 6A Central, it's still brutal.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, North Little Rock is a little bit down on the girls' side, but they still have that great post player. Northside, they lost a little bit to graduation, but then they gained some. I mean, and Cabot, they've had a great start to the season.
Great start to the year.
So it's gonna be tough as always. In that top 3 that we've had the last few years of North Little Rock, Conway, and Northside. Now you got Cabot into the mix as well.
Bryant is better than they've been in the past. Central's going to be scrappy as always. Mount St. Mary even went through the non-conference season this year 6-7, and that's not something you've seen out of them in a while, but you sure did this year. And so it will be interesting. It's going to be a battle every single night out for the next 14 games for these Lady Cats. On the boys' side, you've got a Central team that is 5-6, but they just went on the road to Jacksonville and beat a Jacksonville team that features a future Razorback and went on the road to win that game. So they're solid too. So it will be fun. A great time to get on board. Get out and watch these games for sure. They are thrilling. But if you can't make it out to the games, we'll have the broadcast for you live, Channel 5 and 585. And as always, online, conwaycorp.com/WC2Go. Travel as they try to get the ball over the midcourt stripe. It's 21-6. Lady Cats up comfortably.
Haley Malcolm now on the floor for the Lady Cats. She's that first one in to give some minutes for Savannah Scott on the post.
And Kalena King came in a couple of whistles ago. She's back out of the game. No, excuse me, she's in the game, number 22. Kalena and Jada Pickens rushing for the long rebound. Can't get it before it goes out of bounds. Less than a minute to play in the first quarter. Lady Cats up 21-6.
Coach Hutchcraft said that they'll still go about 7, maybe 8 deep at times. Same old story we've had for the last few years, but that's just that's how it goes. You get your crew that you feel good with, and you kind of stick with it. That's why losing Jaden, for such a length of time, can be a little harsher than it seems.
Pickens makes it 25-6. Final few seconds of the first quarter. Chloe Clardy, the freshman, is your leading scorer. She's got 10. She's averaging almost 19 a game. And when we come back at the start of the second quarter, we're going to run through the offers she already has to play college basketball and playing her first conference high school basketball game tonight. It's amazing. 25-6 through one quarter. We will take 60 seconds and come back with the second quarter on Conway Court.
DeBoard Electronics, a trusted name since 1952, is located at 650 Dave Ward Drive, 2 miles west of I-40. DeBoard Electronics offers state-of-the-art options to customize your Yamaha golf cart or your Polaris side-by-side and even your boat. With cutting-edge products, you will look good and sound good when you're cruising the water. So enjoy your time on the lake listening to your favorite tunes thanks to DeBoard Electronics, 650 Dave Ward Drive in Conway.
This is my home, and here's my hot water heater, located right above my living room. And here's the mess it made when it leaked. Really leaked. Kinda throws off the ambiance, don't you think? Well, I stayed calm and called the experts at All Clean Restoration, so here it is. My living room before the water damage, and my living room after. Or as I like to think, my living room before All Clean, my living room after All Clean. All Clean Restoration, proudly serving all of Arkansas.
25-6 as we start the second quarter. Chloe Clardy leading the way with 10 points in the first quarter for the Lady Cats. We mentioned briefly about her offers, and we're not going to do this every game because that's going to get old because we got a lot of basketball to watch with Chloe Clardy.
Right.
But it's worth mentioning in this game, which is her first conference high school basketball game, she is playing with offers from, this is going backwards, Tulsa, Ole Miss, Virginia Tech, Vanderbilt, Arkansas State, Kansas State, Western Kentucky, and the University of Arkansas. Arkansas offered her first as a 7th grader, and it is just getting started. You talked off air about the tournament they played in Duncanville, Texas, the Sandra Meadows, and there were so many who's who of college coaches that were there to watch her and everybody else that was there play.
Yeah, so basically the sideline opposite of the benches, it just was a row. I mean, and Coach Hutchcraft, I think she retweeted or posted a picture of this on her Twitter. Just a row filled with coaches. And the thing was, these weren't just any coaches.
Yeah, recognizable coaches.
We're talking UConn, Baylor, just the elite, the best of the best. And we're going to start seeing some of that come here to Buzz Bowling Arena because it's not just Chloe Clardy. Like you said, I mean, you've also got Savannah Scott's getting attention. Jaden Thomas is getting high D1 attention.
That's right.
So we're going to have several years of seeing some fun coaches in the arena.
Well, and those that have followed this group of young ladies for a while knew this was coming. They knew this year in particular was coming with these two girls, the freshmen, who would be eligible to play this year of high school basketball. You know, there's no doubt that they probably both could have played a year ago and had success. Obviously, they couldn't have, but they can now, and we're all going to benefit from it. So next few years ought to be fun. All that to say, if you're going to come watch Conway High basketball, don't be late. Don't be late.
No.
Get here early because you're going to want to see both these teams play. 29-9, big lead for Conway. We take 30 seconds, and we're back on Conway Court.
We are Conway's legacy. Just like our family, Conway continues to grow and thrive.
And at Legacy Fencing, we will continue to maintain the level of quality and service that we've provided for the last 2 decades.
From our friendly and helpful office staff, to our outstanding installers, to our shop foremen, and even our college interns, fencing will not only be our legacy, but yours.
And that's why at Legacy Fencing we say, it's fencing for a lifetime.
Lady Cats are ranked number 3 in the state according to the Democrat Gazette. They trail Fort Smith Northside, who's ranked number 1, with Jersey Wolfenbarger and the Brashears girl that's been there. Still, I don't even know which one she is, Sarah or the other one. They're both great. We'll see plenty of them this year.
Yeah.
And then Bentonville, which is ranked number 2, and a team that actually beat Conway earlier in the year, 76-68. So Conway ranked 3rd according to the first rankings that came out in the Democrat Gazette on Sunday.
And according to Coach Hutchcraft, the only game that they lost that she really felt like, she didn't walk away feeling like they shouldn't have won that game based on what happened on the court.
Clardy with another three-pointer. She's got 13. We've played 2 minutes now into the second quarter. Lydia York's going to be whistled for the foul. Third team foul. That is going to be the first on Lydia.
One of the questions I had for her this week was just from the wins and loss column, it appears by any means that these Lady Cats are a little ahead of schedule, just with how young they are,
right?
How much they graduated a year ago in terms of offensive production. And of course, I should have known better than to ask that, because it's always and it's always true. But her response was, "We just work hard." Like every year, I can always count on the players in this program to work really hard. And so the talent ebbs and flows, and obviously we're in a peak now,
right,
with this young talent coming in. But she can always count on these players to come in and work really hard. And she said that's especially true of this group. She said every day she's come in and, sat down with Coach Johnson trying to figure out what they're going to work on today in practice. The one thing she never worries about is, are they going to work hard today?
Yeah.
She just knows with this group. And you like that, especially with the level of talent. You just need that.
It's been ingrained in them for quite a while to work hard. Most of these girls have had summer team success, whether it's AAU ball or in some cases playing for national teams representing the country. And they have learned it at a very high level, and you can see the ease in which they play and work together. Very likely some exciting times ahead. Jada Pickens cleans it up. 34-11. That's Boxley. Johnson to Reed. Olivia York with the steal. Out to T. Rector. Chloe, top of the key. Front of the rim, no good. Going to be a foul called on Jada Pickens. If the name is familiar to you, Chloe Clardy may not be familiar, but Clardy very likely is.
Yeah.
Her brother Terry was one of our favorite Wampus Cats last few years.
Yeah, now he's him and another former Wampus Cat, Colin Kaiser, playing together down in Hot Springs at the I'm blanking on the name. It's
They're the Nighthawks. Is
yes.
it National Park?
Yes, I think that's right.
Mark
Community
Oliver
college.
would not be pleased with us.
Well, they're still new,
Right
and I'm still trying to learn it, still trying to get it ingrained. But they are the Nighthawks, I do know that.
Got a couple of Wampus Cats down there, he said. Clardy, and I liked both of those guys.
Oh yeah, Colin Kaiser is probably my fave.
Yeah.
For the last couple of years.
Mandrell Campbell. Wasn't that his name? Mandrell?
yeah, I think so.
Is that right? Why does that not sound right?
Or maybe it was Mandel.
Maybe it was. Barbara Mandrell. That's not at all who it was.
Who's Barbara Mandel?
You don't know who Barbara Mandrell is?
No.
Cards and letters, please. Send them in. You don't know who Barbara Mandrell is?
I don't. I'm not as old as you think I am.
Did you not watch the documentary about country music?
Was there just one?
Yes. It was on PBS. It was great.
It was just a single documentary on country music.
16 hours of it. Somebody's watching that remembers. 34-13 is our score. Clardy in the paint. Savannah Scott trying to clean it up. Can't get it to go. I think these new basketballs have got too much air in them. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, we were talking about that in the pregame because Scott, our man Stats over here, his job is to notice the little things and put them into the iPad. One of the little things he noticed that I didn't notice, and I came and watched a game back in late November or early December, didn't even notice these basketballs were different.
They are. Very different.
Very much brighter tint.
I like them. For those of us who are eye challenged, I like it. Reed, block by Savannah Scott.
Steve-O says that Barbara Mandrell was a great country singer, and her sisters were great, too.
And the Mandrell sisters, absolutely. At first when you said there's only one of them, I thought you were talking about the Mandrells, but then I realized you were talking about country music documentaries.
I could see how that would be confusing because you thought I was just joking with you now.
I
really did know.
I did.
But I didn't.
So this is what happens when we're winning 36-13 in the first game of the year.
Well, and this is what happens on our first broadcast. You know, you just
Yes.
got to ease back in.
We're easing, that's
we're
for sure.
easing on in. You know, one thing we haven't mentioned about Chloe and Savannah as well, these two freshmen, is just the size that both of them bring to their positions. I feel like it's been a while since and maybe since Jordan, that we've had a guard with that height and then the length of the wingspan. She's so dangerous on the defensive side, and that 1-3-1, just being able to pick off passes.
And Savannah Scott shows her size there. She's able to use her 6'3" frame to go up and get the rebound and score over the Mavericks. And it's 38-13.
One thing this coaching staff has been really proud of Savannah on is just building up that endurance. You know, it's different coming up to high school than the junior high pace of play and just the length of the games. Because when I saw the Lady Cats early in the Thomas Invitational, she was coming in real quick spurts. She just couldn't seem to stay on the court as long, but she's been playing a lot of minutes here tonight, and there's been a few games where she's played the entire game. So she's really, in those 2 months, has built up that endurance.
40-13 is the score. Lady Cats up big. 2 minutes to play in the opening half. T. Rector out in front. She gets the layup to fall. Ari Rice was there defensively, and she couldn't stop her. And it is all Lady Cats. Whistle?
Having a conversation with Coach Longing this week as well, and he said something that I think really relates obviously to his team, but this team as well, and he kind of has the same thought process that Coach Hutchcraft does about these seniors who are playing now, that in terms of experience, they're not seniors yet on the court, just because they don't have as much experience as some of these other players. But Coach Longing was saying, he's talking about a few of his players that are like that. There's something special about those seniors that stick around, even when it's probably not as much fun watching some of these younger players get in ahead of you the last few years, but you stuck around and now you're contributing. And he said they just work so hard, like when you get them in, they'll do what you ask of them. And we're seeing a lot of that with T. Rector and Lydia York tonight, just fulfilling specific roles that are going to be so important to this team as these young players start to develop even more too.
15 points now for Chloe Clardy, and it is 44-13, final minute of the first half. Lady Cats scored 25 in the first quarter, getting close to that mark again here in the second quarter. Update from the internet, Mandel Campbell.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I just had to confirm that because I had Mandrell Campbell in my head, and I knew that wasn't right. Mandel Campbell. Manchild. Remember? It was Manchild.
I do remember.
The Southside team has struggled for a couple of years. They had some success. It's been a while, but at one time they had some really great programs that came through. They've struggled here lately. They are in a city that has an elite girls program across town. Fort Smith Northside is one of the elite programs in the state and has been for 2 decades. 46-13. Final 10 seconds of the first half. Knocked away. Jada Pickens, 5 seconds left. There'll be time for her to put a shot up. Whistle and a foul going the other way, so that will actually be foul called on the charge, and that's her third. So Lydia York's been called for 2 and 4 now, or excuse me, 3 now on number 4, Jada Pickens. That's going to do it. First half belongs to the Lady Cats. It is 46-13 as we go to halftime. It's time now for the Conroy Regional Health System halftime show.
My name is Caitlin Stapleton, and this is your Wampus Cat Spotlight. Conway has so many amazing sports. One sport that we love here is our cheer team. They bring so much spirit and fun to our school. They had their state competition on December 21st, and it's so good. They put so much effort and skill in their routine, and it turned out amazing. They were at every game during the football season, which really got the fans and team cheering loud. They will cheer at every basketball game also. Senior Jessie Hull said that her favorite part of cheer has been cheering at the games. It's so fun being involved right with whoever is playing and cheer them on with the fans. She says it is such a fun adrenaline rush. Cheer is losing 10 seniors who dedicated 5 years to cheering on the Wampus Cats. These girls have worked so hard to come up with all the routines and leading the juniors and sophomores. Seniors Robert Cheer and Tori Darter said that the thing that they will miss most about cheer will be cheering at the football and basketball games, the bus rides, halftime performances, the after-school practices, and the people. We will miss our seniors very much and can't wait to see what they do in their future. Make sure you come out and see the cheerleaders and our amazing basketball teams play. Good luck and go Cats!
We don't schedule the appointments, but we connect them. We don't read the x-rays, but we stream them. We don't handle the procedures, but we power them. Here's to running the things that make business run smoothly. Conway Corp, always on.
Good evening, Wampus Cat fans, and welcome back to your Conway Sports Report. The Conway swim teams have both put together an impressive season so far. Both the girls and the boys have only dropped one meet due to an untimely bus malfunction. They'll travel to UALR this Saturday to face Little Rock Central. Good luck to them. The basketball teams look to open up conference play against the Southside Mavericks. The boys start with a record of 10-2, having won both the Bad Boy Mowers Invitational and the Cameron Hale Invitational. The girls will enter with an 11-3 record with the Dandra Thomas tournament win and a 5th place out of 32-team finish in the Sandra Meadows National Tournament. My name is Reed Hughes, and thank you for tuning in to the Conway Sports Report. And as always, go Cats!
And we welcome you back to Buzz Bowling Arena. Jeff and Levi with you, and it is all Lady Cats, 46-13 as we begin the third quarter, Levi.
The JV games had a running clock.
They did.
The entire game. We will also have a running clock. Is it the whole second half, or is it just in the fourth quarter?
It's the whole second half.
Okay.
Yeah, it started now, being up 30.
Because the Lady Cats up 33. Make it 36.
Right. Yeah, 30-point lead in the second half in basketball, 35-point lead in the second half in football. Means a running clock, so we got it. And Lady Cats are going to improve to 12-3, and Southside will drop to 0-13 in about 15 or 20 minutes.
Some first half numbers for
Yes.
you before they become irrelevant. 2 Lady Cats in double figures, Chloe Clardy with 15 and Jada Pickens with 11. The Lady Cats won the turnover battle 17-3. That's
wow.
wow, yeah. That's a big reason why they're up so handedly at this point. And Southside really no luck anywhere inside the three-point line. They only got 4 shots inside the three-point line in the first half. Meanwhile, Lady Cats had 24. So just a little bit of a disparity shooting there. And Lady Cats looking good at the free throw line, 5 for 5. And they've gotten 13 steals, shooting 56% overall in the first half.
Good to see from the free throw line. That's something that it doesn't matter the level of competition. Free throw line, you're just there. You, 15 feet, basket at 10 feet, and trying to knock them down. You'll need those as the season goes along because starting next week,
right,
we step up in class significantly.
Starting in Murderer's Row, like
Yes.
you said. Stats was careful to point out. He said, I know this doesn't look right, but it really is 17 turnovers to 3. Just 3 for Conway in the first half. And that's really why Southside only has 13 points. They just didn't have the ball very much.
Right. 54-13. 6.5 to go, and running clock here in the second half. Wampus Cats coming up next. They will take on Fort Smith Southside. This Wampus Cat men's team is fun. I said both of our teams are ranked in the top 5. I was a little ahead of myself. They were both ranked in the top 5 in the 6A. In the overall rankings, the boys are actually ranked 7th, and so just outside of the top 5. But both ranked high. Both are having a lot of success, and it'll be fun to watch this year every night that they're here at Buzz Bowling Arena. Jada Pickens, that's T. Rector, into Chloe Clardy to Savannah Scott. Soft pass, good hands, puts it up and in. She joins the double-figure parade with 10.
She's got such a soft touch when she gets the ball down there. And, I got the first game I saw of this Lady Cats team was in the finals of the Thomas tournament that they hosted. They were playing Fayetteville, and like I said, her minutes were a little limited, but every time she was in, I was trying to keep count. I don't think there was a time they got her the ball in the post that she didn't score.
Wow.
And it really, I know I texted all of you guys that night, but it gave me a lot of confidence going into this season because we knew that they're going to be young, pretty young overall. But it's been a long time since we've had a post player that could consistently defend and score. And, it's been a couple years really since we've had that presence. And it just helps with matchups. When you go into this Murderer's Row that you're about to go into, these last 2 years, it's been very difficult playing a North Little Rock, playing a Northside with all the size they had. And, now with Savannah Scott down there, it really allows you to match up so much better with these teams in conference.
Back of the rim, no good for Clardy. Long rebound out to Reed. Gets the layup to fall. 56-15. Unable to get the shot underneath to go there. Lydia York knocks it away. It'll remain on this end.
I always feel like I get vertigo when I watch a player get stuck under the rim like that. Just thinking about what are they seeing, and then I get dizzy. So I can't think about it for too long.
No, move on. You got to move past it. That's what she needs to do, and that's what you need to do. Outlet to Chloe Clardy. Chloe's layup will give her 20 on the night. She came in averaging 18.9. That'll go up.
I asked Coach Hutchcraft, you know, I think one of the valid questions coming into this is who's leading this team? You know, you don't have a lot of senior presence starting. Jada Pickens, the main exception in terms of experience. And she did talk about Jada. Like, Jada is definitely leading with her play, the way she's just taking it up another level. But I was just asking her, like, who is stepping up? And she said it's been a struggle. You know, no lie. The first few weeks of the season, that's what they talked about a lot is leading and trying to show them how to lead on the court. It's been a real coaching focus for them. But she did mention that Chloe really has been one of those players that has shown some leadership potential on the floor. But that's a hard spot for a freshman to come in and do that. Even though you've got the talent to back it up, to just come in and she's kind of had to pick her spots on how to lead this team.
T. Rector knocked down a three-pointer. Alicia Johnson knocks down one for Southside. And that's definitely part of what is special about Chloe Clardy is she's obviously young. You can look at the FR next to her name and know that. Haley Malcolm gets the shot to go. But her experience at really the highest level that you can play in girls' youth basketball has got to prepare her for whatever is going to happen on the court. And so she's really not going to run into anything that she hasn't already run into.
That's true.
So that's got to help her, and through the confidence of being able to lead and the confidence of being around this program and around this team. Older brother, the Clardy name. They're not new to Conway. I mean, everything is kind of in place for if you were ever going to have a freshman that would be a leader. I could see the circumstances leading to her being that way.
Well, and it also helps that her coach the last few years, LaShonta Johnson,
yes,
is now the assistant coach here on the high school team. So you got that safety net of,
that's a great point.
You know, coming into a new situation, trying to start in high school, but you've got your old coach there right along the way with you.
Savannah Scott gets the shot to fall. And something that I don't know, and maybe somebody that's watching does know this, did Savannah and Chloe both play on the same side in what junior high ball they did play? Were they both blue side or both white side, or were they one of each?
I think they were on opposite sides. But
okay.
Yeah, definitely someone out there can confirm that with us. I feel like they were not on the same team.
And just so you know, if you haven't had a chance yet to join us on the social media side of things, Twitter is open, Facebook is open, also YouTube. If you want to comment on the YouTube chat, that is up and available for you. ConwayCorp.com/WC to go is where you'll find us online. If you're watching the game on YouTube, then you probably already have the address, I would think. You would already have dialed us up. So, love to hear from you if you're watching early on in this conference season, first game. Lady Cats are going to win. Wampus Cat game coming up in just a little while. In that men's game, you'll have the 10-2 Wampus Cats against the 5-9 Southside Mavericks. Opener for both teams tonight. So Michaela Reed is in the game, number 23. We'd like us some Michaela Reed.
It's your favorite Lady Cat, right?
I think the world of that young lady. Kalena King. Speaking of good families. She gets the shot to go with the left hand.
Well, I'll tell you who else thinks a lot of Michaela Reed. Coach Hutchcraft.
I would imagine she would.
She talked on and on about all the little things she does, like in the locker room, and she pointed up, I was in her office, she pointed up to all these pictures and decorations that Michaela had put up.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's things you don't think about,
yeah.
right? But someone's been doing those things and just trying to make this team feel that much closer. And I of course, knew your affinity for Michaela Reed as well. Yeah.
Well, that's very cool. And she's someone who, she may not get as many minutes as a lot of players, but there is no doubt that she is someone who does get to lead this team.
Yeah, you've got Jada Pickens, T. Rector, Lydia York getting, most of the minutes out of the seniors. Michaela Reed gonna see some good minutes on a night like tonight. And
it's just the 4 of them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and Coach was telling them this week, telling the whole team, these 4 seniors, they deserve to have the best possible season that they could have, just on what they've done these last few years. And some more involved on the floor than others, but everybody contributing. And you've got these young players that are going to give all they have to try and give them the best outcome possible in their senior year.
Michaela whistled for a travel there before she put the shot up and looked over at Coach Hutchcraft and Coach Johnson and gave a big smile. Alex Jolivet is in the game. And another travel, a double dribble that time, called on Kalena King. So we'll set the lineup for you. Alex Jolivet's in the game. Haley Malcolm's in, number 25. Number 23 is Michaela Reed. Number 32 is Lauren Hill. So it's King, Hill, Malcolm, Jolivet, and Reed. Those are your 5. Lady Cats on the floor right now. And I may be mistaken about the running clock because obviously it has been stopping at, and maybe it is just the 4th quarter. I thought it was the entire second half, but they've stopped it as the ball has gone out of bounds and at free throws here in the 3rd quarter. That's Reed. Oh, the Euro step. I was really excited about that Euro step. Haley Malcolm whistled for the foul. That's her 3rd. 69-20. Final few seconds. 3-point attempt up by Lauren Redding. And that's going to do it. We go to the 4th. Lady Cats leading 69-23. We'll take 60 seconds. When we come back, it'll be the 4th quarter on Conway Court.
In 1916, Smith Ford opened its doors in Conway and began building a legacy that today is over a century old and still going strong. Now let's put this into perspective. When Smith Ford started out, their cars looked like this. Today, they look like this. Outstanding customer service. At Smith Ford, they don't just say it, they define it. You just don't live to see 100 unless you're living right, eating right, or selling right. Smith Ford has been doing all 3 since 1916.
From setting the budget to signing the papers, we guide you through the home buying process and get you the key. Making better happen with First Security.
I was listening to see if the voice of Buzz Bowling Arena, Tim Roach, was going to tell us that the clock was going to run, but he did not say that. So I know you're efforting the information. Kalena King gets the steal in the bucket. 5'9" sophomore. We talk a lot about the 2 freshmen that start, and of course Jaden Thomas, the sophomore that normally starts. But there's talent throughout this team that's young. That is only going to help.
Lauren Hill, another sophomore as well.
Good Lauren handling the ball and then traveling with the ball. And an injury to a Lady Maverick. Soraya Reed.
Sometimes we accidentally
jinx.
Jinx. That's I was gonna say curse, but that felt too strong. You know,
curse is a strong
Sometimes
word.
we accidentally curse on air. No, that's not what I was. that's not where I was going.
Jinx. We jinx them. It's McCord. Stolen away. Haley Malcolm kicked it, and it goes out of bounds. It will belong to the Lady Mavericks. Into the game for the Lady Cats is Lacey Larkins, number 30. She's a 5'8 junior, replacing Haley Malcolm. Alex Jolivet with the steal.
Alex Jolivet.
Her first 2 of the night. Smart play there by Lauren Redding to knock it off the foot of Larkins. Jada Dungu is in. And the clock is running now. I know that we always get questioned for our math, but that's a 50-point lead, right?
Yes. No. Yeah.
Thank you. Javon.
Yes, no, yeah.
Who's
yes,
with
no.
me, yes. She knows the math. I'm only questioning that because I've been told before when we've been wrong, so I'd rather acknowledge it up front. Yes, I know that we may be wrong, but not this time. That is a 50-point lead. All right, let's refocus. We've got some Lady Cats coming in. Going to see their first varsity action in conference play in just a moment, including Lacey Larkins. The junior knocks down the three-pointer, 76-23. Redding has it stolen away by Larkins. Going to be a block. Free throws upcoming for Lacey Larkins. It'll be 2 free throws.
Chance to get 5 quick points
Yeah.
here. The way she set up for that three-point shot, it looked like she done that a lot.
Done that before, right? Yeah. Good look at Lacey Larkins there, the junior. First free throw, no good. Look at some of the new fancy graphics we've got. What do you think of that?
I like it.
Yeah. Get some new toys for Christmas. And so we're working the stuff in here as we go.
Santa was good to Conway Corp, huh? Is that what you're saying?
Indeed. Yeah, I got some neat stuff that we got planned, including once you all start populating the YouTube chat and the Twitter and the Facebook, you might get to see your name on TV. So don't say anything dumb.
Oh, wow. We might get some more comments now.
That was my thinking. That's why I asked Santa exactly for that. Whistle and a foul. Into the game for the first time is number 5, Carson Roach. Carson is a 5'5 sophomore. Carson is the niece of the aforementioned Tim Roach that we talked about, the voice of Buzz Bowling Arena.
Well, he probably feels like kind of a mean uncle tonight, what his Conway Lady Cats have done.
A mean uncle? Hang on, we've got a lot of stuff happening here. Chandler Van Zant is in the game. Jamisa Johnson is in the game. We're in number 12.
I was confused again. This is another situation where I was confused. I thought you were talking about number 5 for them, who was shooting free throws just now.
Oh, no. Carson Roach, that was in the game.
Sorry, Tim. You don't need to feel mean.
I know, but I want to understand this, but I am not. Three-pointer back of the rim, no good. Travel. Addie Branham is in the game. And also Amari Clark checks in for Southside. 76-25. So far tonight, if you were to hashtag the broadcast, Mandrell Sisters.
Mandrell Sisters, yes.
Mean Uncle.
Mean Uncle.
And what else? Is 73 minus 23.
50.
50.
Hashtag 50.
Hashtag 50. Addie Branham is at the line. Free throw is good.
And she cuts it back to 50.
I appreciate, for math purposes, I do. I appreciate that. Watch this. 49-point lead for the Lady Cats.
That just doesn't sound as good as 50, though.
It won't be that for long. You watch. Under 2 to go. Lacey Larkins. Offensive rebound. That's Carson Roach. Carson fouled. 4th team foul, so no free throws just yet.
Tell you who's got the real workout tonight is Stats with all these substitutions.
Glad I charged up the iPad. Rebound out of bounds, and it'll be Southside basketball. Final minute. Put this one to bed. Conway is going to move to 12-3 overall, 1-0 in conference play. And then 3 straight road games. Before we see this team again, Carson Roach is going to go to the free throw line. Before we see this team again, they will have played at North Little Rock, at Cabot, and at Fort Smith Northside. So it is going to be, what will this team be when we see them again? Could they be 4-0? They could be. That would be as impressive a run as you could imagine early on with a young team like this.
And shorthanded without one of your best players. Because we're still not sure exactly how long Jaden's going to be out.
Carson Roach hits the second free throw, and she's on the board.
And that's
conference varsity game.
It's a 50-point lead.
Of course. Thank you, Carson. And that free throw is that, I'm telling you, that's good for my soul right there. All right, easy math. 50-point win for the Lady Cats. Final score, 77-27. Lady Cats are now 1-0 in conference play, and they are 12-3 overall. And they will get ready to be on the road the next 3 games at North Little Rock, at Cabot, and at Northside before we're back home against Little Rock Central.
Well, some great numbers tonight. You had 3 Lady Cats in double figures. You almost had all 5 starters in double figures as Lydia York and T. Rector both with 9 points each. But Chloe Clardy leading the way with 20 points. Jada Pickens with 13 and Savannah Scott not far behind with 12. Just shot the ball so well tonight, and that 1-3-1 defense gave Southside way too many problems.
50-point win for the Lady Cats. Great job by them, and they will get ready to be on the road these next 3 at North Little Rock, at Cabot, and at Northside. We will get ready in just a few minutes from now. It may be 10 minutes or so, maybe 15. They haven't put the time on the clock just yet. But here in just a few minutes, we will come back to Buzz Bowling Arena live tonight with the boys matchup between Conway and Fort Smith Southside. That's coming up on Conway Corp.
My name is Caitlin Stapleton, and this is your Wampus Cat Spotlight. Conway has so many amazing sports. One sport that we love here is our cheer team. They bring so much spirit and fun to our school. They had their state competition on December 21st, and it's so good. They put so much effort and skill in their routine, and it turned out amazing. They were at every game during the football season, which really got the fans and team cheering loud. They will cheer at every basketball game also. Senior Jessie Hull said that her favorite part of cheer has been cheering at the games. It's so fun being involved right with whoever is playing and cheer them on with the fans. She says it is such a fun adrenaline rush. Cheer is losing 10 seniors who dedicated 5 years to cheering on the Wampus Cats. These girls have worked so hard to come up with all the routines and leading the juniors and sophomores. Seniors Robert Cheer and Tori Darter said that the thing that they will miss most about cheer will be cheering at the football and basketball games, the bus rides, halftime performances, the after-school practices, and the people. We will miss our seniors very much and can't wait to see what they do in their future. Make sure you come out and see the cheerleaders and our amazing basketball teams play. Good luck and go Cats!
We don't schedule the appointments, but we connect them. We don't read the x-rays, but we stream them. We don't handle the procedures, but we power them. Here's to running the things that make business run smoothly. Conway Corp, always on.
Good evening, Wampus Cat fans, and welcome back to your Conway Sports Report. The Conway swim teams have both put together an impressive season so far. Both the girls and the boys have only dropped one meet due to an untimely bus malfunction. They'll travel to UALR this Saturday to face Little Rock Central. Good luck to them. The basketball teams look to open up conference play against the Southside Mavericks. The boys start with a record of 10-2, having won both the Bad Boy Mowers Invitational and the Cameron Hale Invitational. The girls will enter with an 11-3 record with the Dandra Thomas tournament win and a 5th place out of 32-team finish in the Sandra Meadows National Tournament. My name is Reed Hughes, and thank you for tuning in to the Conway Sports Report. And as always, go Cats!
You don't wake up thinking about internet speed, electricity, reliability. Your mind isn't on advanced treatment facilities or customizable systems. You don't have to think about any of these things because we do. Conway Corp, always on.
And we welcome you back to Buzz Bowling Arena. Tonight it is the second half of the doubleheader between Conway High School and Fort Smith Southside. Lady Cats won the first game by 50, 77-27. And time now to meet the starting lineups for the boys game tonight. First for Fort Smith Southside, Ja'Kale Mitchell starts.
At guard, a 5'11" senior, number 12,
Elijah York starts at guard.
At forward, a 6'5" junior, number 21, Josh Merrill.
Josh Merrill starts at the post at 6'5".
At forward, a 6'3" senior, number 23, Dawson Smith.
Dawson Smith starts at forward.
And at guard, a 6'1" senior.
And the starter at guard is Mikhail Franks. He's their scorer. He's a 6'1" senior, plays guard. Now let's join public address announcer Tim Roach with the starters for your Wampus Cats.
And now, here's the starting lineup for your Conway Wampus Cats. At guard, a 6'4" senior, number 1, Caleb London. At guard, a 5'10" senior, number 2, Trey Tall. At guard, a 5'9" senior, number 5, Chase Boyd. At guard, a 5'11" senior, number 10, Lucas Foster. And at center, a 6'5" junior, number 25, Jaden Williams. Wampus Cats were coached by Sonny Longing and assisted by Nick Harrow.
There are your Wampus Cats starters, and as announced by the public address announcer Tim Roach here at Buzz Bowling Arena. There you see a good look at those guys. Boyd, Tall, and Foster will play in the backcourt. And then you got Caleb London and Jaden Williams. Caleb's going to play at Arkansas State. He's already signed, and he'll be a guard. He'll be a point or a shooting guard.
Yes.
In this lineup, though, he's the power forward.
He has had to move to that 4 spot just because of their lack of depth on the interior, and it's a role that he still has his scoring responsibilities. Of course, he's the leading scorer for the team, but they really need him to contribute in rebounding. If he's not able to be that second leading rebounder every game, this Conway Wampus Cat team is going to really struggle.
The Wampus Cats come in overall ranked 7th in the state. 10-2 overall. Those 2 losses are to 2 teams that are ranked ahead of them. They lost to Russellville 69-57, and the Cyclones are ranked number 6 in the state. And then Fayetteville beat this team here on their home court a couple of weeks back, 67-59, and they are ranked 2nd in the state. So Wampus Cats and Lady Cats both playing some good early season non-conference basketball, and we'll see how things go in the conference now that we are into it. Chase Boyd gets his hand on it. Chase strong with the basketball as Franks tried to knock it away. Good job by Chase Boyd to hold on to it and get the first 2 of the night.
Coach Longing had so much praise for Chase Boyd this week and his defensive contributions for this team during non-conference play, and you saw it on that last defensive possession for Conway.
Josh Merrill with the basket for Southside. Franks with the steal. 4-2, Southside leads. There's Caleb London, number 1. Senior is already signed to play his college basketball at Arkansas State. And it's also his birthday. So happy birthday, Caleb London.
Yeah, so I had that the tweet from A-State
from Arkansas
basketball.
State, yeah.
Wishing him a happy birthday, and it's a nice, smart thing that these colleges do.
Hey, it's fun to watch the way the social media game has changed, the way recruiting goes and the way connections go. And as a fan, you really get to be a part of it. In fact, we were talking about the offers that Chloe Clardy has received. That's really the source for things like that as you go look through her timeline and see the different posts that she makes about getting offers. And the same thing happened with Caleb up until the point that he decided that Arkansas State was going to be his home, and he signed in the early signing period. 15-footer is no good, and he'll go right back to that line to shoot a couple of free throws here.
And I'm actually really excited that he's moved to that power forward position. I think his best game is in that mid-range shooting and getting down on the baseline and finding ways to snake into the lane. And now you're starting him there. So it's, to me, ideally he would be playing more out on the perimeter. But I think his best offensive game happens in that mid-range shooting, and this is just going to give him more opportunities to do that. What I worry about for him is offensively, do his numbers lag a little bit because he's going to be expending so much energy rebounding and defensively playing against bigger post players than he's been used to in the past.
So far, it has not worked against him. He's averaging 18.8 a game, but as the grind of the conference season gets here, playing every week or twice a week and against more formidable opponents and against some of these rivalry games that can take so much out of you, we'll see if that becomes a part of the storyline with him as the year goes on. That's Trey Tull. High off the glass, no good. Jaden Williams, a couple of tries at it. Back to Trey Tull and one. Stuart Adams, head coach of the Mavericks, is up. Not happy about it. It's going to be called on Dawson Smith, and that is his first. Trey Tull at the line, and as Trey goes to the line here, I want to give a shout out early on here to Mr. Joe Town. Joe Town is a Wampus Cat fan that never misses a game, but he had a surgery a week ago, and he's unable to be here tonight, so a friend of his came over and asked us between games we could be sure and send a shout out to Mr. Town. His grandson's a part of this program, and miss having you here, Mr. Town, but we're glad that we can bring you the broadcast tonight and hope that we can bring you a victory as you're recuperating, and we wish you well and get well soon, and we'll see you back at Buzz Bowling Arena very, very soon. 8-6 as the Wampus Cats have the 2-point lead. A whistle and a foul on Trey Tull. That'll be his first and the first on the team. This Wampus Cat team, Levi, has really had success. They're 10-2 as we talked about, but part of that success has come in the form of some pressure games in tournaments. They've already won 2 tournaments in the non-conference. They won the Bad Boy Mower tournament up at Highland, and then just last week won the Cameron Hale Invitational down at Lake Hamilton in their beautiful building.
Yeah, and Coach Longing was talking about how this team is just, there's no bones about it, this team is overachieved from just the depth issues they've had, and we talked about it with the girls game, that you've got a lot of seniors playing that don't have a lot of starting experience, but man, they have grown up quick and really provided great contributions. Talking about like Lucas Foster has been shooting well. Xavier Robinson, football player, they weren't even expecting him to play. He's brought some really valuable minutes. So they just have been doing it much differently than they had to do it a year ago. But they have found success, and it's just come from a lot of role players stepping up big any given night.
Under 5 to play, first quarter. Frank's in the corner for 3. Caleb London goes up for the rebound and is fouled on his way back down. They will get Dawson Smith his second. And into the game will be Dedrick Washington. .440 to go. Clock runs here in the first quarter. Great to be back with you. Lady Cats and Wampus Cat basketball. Been watching this team in the non-conference season to get to tonight, and we're excited to have all these conference home games for you live, and then when it comes state tournament time, we will have the broadcasts for you. Live broadcast of the state tournament, and hopefully all the way to Hot Springs to some state championship appearances. These two teams have got it in them. Let's see if they can put it together as January turns to February, turns to March.
I'll tell you, the best thing that could help me get over last basketball season, was finally this basketball season starting for us in our broadcasts.
Chase Boyd. Boyd's a great athlete. That's a couple of times we've seen him on both sides of the rim. Use his body, great body control, go up soft and get the basket.
Yeah, Coach Longy just had so many great things to say about Chase when I met with him this week.
Three-pointer no good. Trey Tull gets the rebound. Lucas Foster, he'll step to the free throw line. Cats are getting a chance to go to the line a lot early, and I know that when you look at the stat sheet, that stands out. They've struggled from the free throw line.
Yeah, they've definitely had issues there, we'll say. I mean, they're shooting around 57% from the free throw line, and the coach said they're putting in the time. They're really working hard at it, but it just hasn't translated into success at the free throw line just yet. Maybe this conference play will help put things into focus a little bit more, because there's going to be a lot of tight games as we go down the stretch.
Seeing our first tweet come in. Cynthia Baker, let's get it, Wampus Cats. Jaden Williams' grandmother watching from Hermiston, Oregon.
I think that's from our YouTube chat.
Okay, very good.
Because I recognize it, for one, because I know it's from the YouTube chat, but two, because Cynthia Baker was one of our top commenters during football.
Oh, fantastic.
Talking about Jaden Williams, who, of course, we haven't talked a lot about yet. He's not on the floor now, but he's a football player.
That's right.
That's getting to start now for basketball.
Very cool. Again, that's another one of our new toys, is the ability to show your social media posts as they are good enough to show.
Right, as they're appropriate.
As they're appropriate.
Broadcast
yes,
television.
that's what they need to be. Don't be silly. I mean, you can be silly, but just be appropriate.
Well, you can be silly, but you're not going to get on. So
that's very true. That's very true. I want to mention a couple of players that have come in the game. A couple of young players. Now, we talked a lot about the youth of the girls team, but you've got a sophomore in Paul Harris who can shoot the basketball. I saw him in an early season game where I came and watched this team play. He took the opening tip of his first game as a sophomore, 2 dribbles, drained to 3. So he can shoot the basketball. That's Paul Harris, number 4. Then the guy in the middle is a freshman. He's a 9th grader. His name is Kyler Spencer. He's a 6'4 freshman, and he'll back up Jaden Williams. Good dish underneath.
Yeah,
tied at 11.
Coach Long has said they had to bring him up. They just didn't have any depth down there on the post. And if Jaden Williams isn't in, it's going to be Spencer. And if Spencer's not in, then they're going to be playing small because there's really
5-guard lineup.
Not many options at center after Williams and Spencer.
We talk a lot about 2-sport athletes or even some 3-sport athletes, and there's many that have a lot of success doing that for the Wampus Cat program. Kyler Spencer is one of those that before he's ever even played a game of varsity sports, he's already an accomplished 2-sport athlete. He's getting significant playing time for the basketball team, and he's already committed to play collegiate baseball for the University of Arkansas. He's a right-handed pitcher who throws in the 90s, and Dave Van Horn locked him up before he even pitched an inning of varsity baseball. So this is another spectacular athlete that's on the campus here, and it's great to see him playing more than one sport. Caleb London at the free throw line trying to break this 11-11 tie.
And here comes Xavier Robinson. We're talking about football players and baseball players.
That's right.
And here's another football player that they didn't even know was going to play this year, and he's given Conway some huge minutes.
Front of the rim, no good. We'll have to keep an eye on that free throw percentage as the game goes on. That will be a storyline throughout the year. Washington. And it's 13-11. London on the wing. And Kyler Spencer trying to get to a spot where he is open inside and can't, and instead Lucas Foster traveled with it and give the basketball back over to Fort Smith Southside. This Southside team 5-9 in the non-conference season. Wampus Cats 10-2. Dish in the corner to Franks. 5-point lead for the Mavericks. That's Foster. London. No whistle. Coach Longing up, wanting to know what the story is with that. Lucas Foster trying to get a hold of it and does, and he'll find Paul Harris. Out to Robinson.
Slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, when
ourselves.
When I saw this team play in the non-conference, I noticed that there were multiple players who would pull up from three quickly. They weren't nervous about it. They weren't shy about it. And I don't know if the defense is forcing that, but it's a little different look than what we saw against Bentonville West in a non-conference game. A little strong on the shot. Paul Harris. Kyler Spencer is going to be over the back.
I think some of that pace is just being a little more careful because you are so limited in terms of numbers. Much like the Lady Cats, they're only going about 7 or 8, maybe 9 on a good night. There's a lot of similarities between these Lady Cats and these Wampus Cats because we haven't even talked about Bryce Bohannon, who has yet to play any basketball this season, as he's still nursing a lower leg injury that was giving him some problems at the end of the football season. They're not real sure when he's going to be back in the lineup, so they kind of have to play a different pace early on here in conference as they wait for some players to come back and they start to work some players in as well.
Jacoby Easley is in the game, number 0, replacing Caleb London.
And that's one of those players they're going to start working in, is these are his first minutes of the season.
We've played one quarter, and Southside's got a 5-point lead, 16-11. Let's take 60 seconds, and we'll come back for the second quarter. It's next on Conway Court.
Helton's Wrecker U-Haul has the service you need. Whatever the automotive problem, Helton's has the diagnostics to repair it. If you're moving across town or across country, Helton's is your #1 choice for U-Haul in Conway. We have a wide selection of packing supplies for every aspect of your move. Also, we sell and install hitches. Call 327-4696 for a quote. At Helton's Wrecker U-Haul, we are always on our toes. Give us a call at 327-7681.
Centennial Bank builds relationships. That's why our bankers roll up their sleeves to support Conway and Faulkner County. They are folks you know and value for mortgages, business loans, and all your personal banking needs. Community involvement and exceptional service from people you know. That's the Centennial Bank way. Centennial Bank's legacy started right here in Conway and is still growing. Centennial Bank, building legacies, one relationship at a time.
Courtside Cats sounded great. We don't get to see a lot of road basketball games, but for an arena and for the environment, it's second to none here.
Oh,
it really is, and I love seeing some good-sized crowds that are out, and it's a good-sized crowd tonight for the first conference basketball game. Questionable weather. Folks are still out here. Hopefully everyone can get home safely before what they're talking about moving through does move through, which is some severe weather overnight. 16-13. Good defense. Out of bounds.
Just like Coach Longing had been praising Chase Boyd, his praise for Xavier Robinson, very similar, just the defensive pressure and effort that he's bringing for these Wampus Cats. We've seen it on these 2 last plays.
Turned it over. So the turnover gives it back to the Wampus Cats. It also, we mentioned Jacoby Easley being in, but also Jaden Williams had to come back in. He scored the basket, but what we didn't mention was Kyler Spencer had to come out. I believe there was some blood on his uniform, but they've got him cleaned up, and he is back on the bench, but he will be available hopefully soon.
That's the 3rd time tonight we've seen a just lackadaisical pass that has turned into points on the other end.
In and out, no good. The follows, soft hands for Xavier Robinson. I want to see Lucas Foster take that shot. That was one of the things that Coach talked about in the finals of the Cameron Hale down at Lake Hamilton, is that he got hot, and he's their sharpshooter. That's what Coach Longing said about Lucas Foster, and you want a sharpshooter to keep taking his shots because they're going to fall. Off the glass and good. Basket was good by Merrill. Foster to Easley. Again, Easley playing his first minutes as a Wampus Cat on the season and drags the foot, traveling. Give the ball back over to Southside. We talked about the schedule that the Lady Cats have coming up, these 3 road games that are about to happen. Well, of course, the way that the schedule works, that's the same for the Wampus Cats, so they'll be on the road at North Little Rock and at Cabot and at Northside.
And it'll be just as brutal, if
Absolutely.
not more so, for the boys as you hear it from Coach Longing, North Little Rock, probably their most complete team they've had in several years, which
scary.
is saying something because, they've had great seasons.
Foster with the left hand, and it's blocked by Franks.
And, of course, you got Northside, defending state champions.
An Arkansas commit, Jaden Williams, who's doing huge things there.
So it's going to be a tough stretch for these Lady Cats and these Wampus Cats. And the fact that you're having to do all of that on the road.
Right.
The counter, though, is that later in February we'll have all of those teams coming here as we're trying to go down the stretch and see how the playoff seeding all works its way out.
It hasn't been announced officially, but unofficially it sure looks like the state tournament is going to be down at Bryant. They opened up their new arena last week, and it's the turn for the Central Conference to host, and looks like Bryant will probably get that opportunity. And so Saline County, the first week in March, a couple of wins there, would head to Hot Springs.
Bryant lost their best player.
Yes.
He has moved out to another state, a prep school, but they're still really, really good as well.
They
so
are.
it's gonna, and Central on the upswing with Coach Ross, is that his last name? So yeah, it's just gonna be an insane 6A Central that we'll get the privilege to see all these teams coming to Conway.
Well, if you look at the non-conference records, Conway 10-2, Northside 10-4, Cabot 9-3, North Little Rock 9-3, Bryant 7-5, Catholic was 6-6, Central was 5-6, but they played a tough non-conference schedule. And this Southside team was 5-9, but they're good.
Well, and Bryant, 7-5, that doesn't seem super impressive, but they made their schedule based on thinking that they were still going to have
KK Robinson.
Yes, and so they played in some of the most elite tournaments in the country. So their record's a little deceiving as you're going into those things without your, one of the best players in the nation.
Someone else who is committed to play for Arkansas, Eric Musselman, has got 4 of those kids
Just
from Arkansas
stacking them
right
up,
now.
huh?
I'm telling you, it's going to be fun to be a Hogs fan for sure.
I'm glad we don't have to see KK Robinson.
Jacoby Easley knocking down the 3. Yeah, we've benefited from both him moving and Moses Moody moving.
Yes.
Moody would have been at North Little Rock the last 2 years. He's another one that's playing prep ball but is going to Arkansas. Going to Arkansas State is that guy, Caleb London. And with the basket, Conway takes the lead. Good comeback here for the Cats. They lead 21-20. Let's take 30 seconds, then we'll come back on Conway Corp.
Hey, welcome to David's. I'm Alan Bubbass, and this is my father, David Bubbass. We want to welcome you in to try our great beef, grade A choice chuck that you can see in display, all you can eat fries, and a little ice cream at the end. Come experience some of the cutest kids. Bring your cute kids too. We'd love to serve you. At David's Burgers, we're proud supporters of the Call in Arkansas.
And you can find out more online about ways to get involved.
Wampus Cats gathered around Coach Longy and Coach Harrell, and Coach Joey Moon is over there as well. You see Jacoby Easley wearing number 0. First time we've seen him in the Wampus Cat uniform. He is a 5'11 junior. Cats have battled back and lead by a point, 21-20.
They think Jacoby can really contribute to this team. It's going to take some time to work him in, make sure he's in shape, and just find a role as he's finally getting his first minutes with this team that already had the non-conference schedule to kind of jive together.
Jaden Williams with the block.
Jaden, the leading blocker on this team, no surprise there.
Soft hands inside and a shove. That'll be a foul called, and Conway's going to have the basketball here.
We have been huge Jaden Williams fans for the last year. We saw him in football sparingly a year ago, not this past season, but the season before.
Right.
And then we got to see him a little bit in JV basketball games last year, and then saw him get more and more involved in football this season. And we're just excited, and he is really, he's taken over this center role for Conway.
And we'll have to correct that graphic. And unfortunately, that's the way his name is spelled on Max Preps, which is a service that everybody uses for rosters. But his name is actually Jaden Williams. And so we'll get that corrected. So we know it's Jaden, but whoever put it in Max Preps, they have it as Jalen.
Well, Max Preps still has Will Johnson as the coach.
Yes, they do.
There's some things Max Preps needs to work on.
That's a good point. I actually looked for a place to correct both of those, and I couldn't figure it out. So I'm sure there's somebody you can email.
I know there's people that can be official scorers. Maybe we should get those credentials.
That wouldn't be bad.
We see these games.
Yeah, we could do that. Conway's got the ball back. Good defense. Jaden Williams. And that is Chase Boyd. London. Rise and fire. Back of the rim, no good. Jacoby Easley. Can't get it to go. Some news this week from Kylan Milton. Remember Kylan from a year ago?
Yeah.
He was kind of the running mate with Caleb London. He was at Oral Roberts University. Paul Harris, the sophomore, all the way in with the easy layup, announcing on Twitter this week that he was going to be leaving ORU, looking for a different place to play his college basketball, thanking Coach Bozeman and the staff at ORU, but needing to find a different situation. That's not uncommon, and we wish the best for a really, really good Wampus cat, Kylan Milton. Foul's going to be called on Paul Harris. Cats were trailing earlier and have pushed it out to a 7-point lead. They were trailing by 5 at the end of the first quarter.
We've talked about it a lot, how this team has overachieved. They're still kind of figuring it out in terms of the post play. They've really only got 2 players down there. They have to play small at times. And then they've still got players that aren't here yet. Jacoby Easley getting his first minutes tonight. Bryce Bohannon, they expect to get him back at some point. So this team is just really fascinating because they had success in the non-conference, but we still don't really know fully who this team is yet because there's still some missing pieces. So I think it's going to be really interesting to watch them through this first half of conference because they could look totally different by the second half.
Kyler Spencer back in the game, big number 35. Freshman on the block there. That's going to be 2 free throws coming for Caleb London. Earlier in the first quarter, the Cats were shooting 50% from the free throw line, 3 out of 6. See how that's improved, if at all, in the second quarter.
They are 6 for 10 now.
So 50% to 60%, so a little bit of improvement. And a chance here for the rest of this quarter to shoot 2 free throws with each foul committed. First one good for the senior, Caleb London. Got them both.
So shooting above their free throw percentage for the season, but only 1 for 6 from the three-point line tonight. So kind of a little reversal of fortunes.
And only Easley hitting that three-pointer. Seeing his first action of the year. That's Smith. A little give and go, and a nice job to get the basket to fall. Approaching the 2-minute mark. Deep 3, no good. Dawson Smith for Southside finds himself underneath the basket for more than 3 seconds. And so 3 seconds in the lane. Turnover gives it back to Conway. About 4 rows deep of the classy students tonight. It's Jersey night. It's one of my favorite nights is Jersey night.
See anything special?
I do. Got a couple Oklahoma City Thunder that I see over there.
I don't know if that's special.
So I like that a lot. What else do I see over there?
Are they former or current players?
I can't. I'm just seeing Thunder across the chest.
See some Lakers?
See some Lakers. Definitely some Lakers. I see an old school Georgetown Hoyas. That's nice.
Wow.
A little throwback.
Chris Eliza would be proud.
I see my son across the way wearing his number 10 Oklahoma Sooners jersey.
Yes.
So I'm proud of Beckett tonight. I guess he follows classy students on Twitter. I don't know how I would have known that. But he's 11, so I'm going to hope that he's not following anybody on Twitter. It might have just been what he wore to school.
Well, that wouldn't be a rare occurrence.
It would not be. No. He's got a couple of them that he rotates through. Second on Paul Harris.
They're getting loud down there. I like it.
Free throw goes. Xavier Robinson will check in. Paul Harris out. Paul is a good-looking sophomore. His mom works in my building, so shout out to her and her entire family. Ought to be proud. Paul getting some minutes tonight in conference play. Second one rolls off. 5-point lead for the Wampus Cats. Final 90 seconds of the first half. Inside to Collar. Spencer, 2 Boyd, 2 Foster, 2 London. Xavier Robinson says, I'll take the 3. Caleb London's follow not there. Tip back out. Strong off the glass. The tip won't go. Another try at it. Free throws coming for Caleb London.
Talk about the effort. Coach Longing said it. He's got to be heavily involved in rebounding. Got, 3 right there?
Yeah, yes. That'll help.
That'll boost those rebounding numbers.
Arkansas State signee. Going to play his college ball in the Sun Belt. At 3 free throws in a row. If you're wondering, yes, they got new basketballs this year. I don't know if we can get. I know
the officials wiping that one on the goalpost over there. I guess it got a little sweat on it, maybe.
I don't know if we can get Maggie to get really tight in here on this basketball when they give it to Caleb. But look at that. That is it. It's brand new. They're very bright. I like that. Easy to see. And I was here a couple of weeks ago watching one of the junior high games, and I was just curious. I just thought, is this are they balls that you play with on the parking lot? No, they're leather. They're actual leathery basketballs, just very bright. Easy to see. Up no good. Rebound to Robinson. Out to Caleb London. Final minute. Foster for 3. Got it. 10-point lead now for the Wampus Cats. They trailed by 5 at the end of the first quarter. They have turned that around by 15 total and lead by 10 now. Final 30 seconds. A whistle and a foul. Looks like they may get Chase Boyd for it. That is going to be his second. Bonus free throws coming here for the Southside Mavericks. We like to give you a heads up on when you want to come out to Buzz Bowling Arena, and you want to be here any game. But this year, a game that you want to circle is coming up on February 18th. February 18th, when Northside comes to town. Northside, both of their teams won the state championship a year ago. They're both still loaded with Division I talent. Jersey Wolfenbarger, starter, been a starter since she was a freshman and has been spectacular, and she's got offers from everybody ever. And so she's great, and she'll be here. Jaden Williams for the boys' side. That's just one you want to be at. February 18th when Northside comes to town. Let's fill this place. This is a great environment, especially when it gets really loud. 8-point lead as we approach halftime. See if the Wampus Cats can finish it out here. One final possession. Trey Tull to Williams. Xavier Robinson. Little turnaround jump shot inside the paint from 10. Stretch the lead back out to 10. 36-26. Conway's got the lead, and it is halftime. Time now for the Conroy Regional Health System halftime show.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Stapleton, and this is your Wampus Cat Spotlight. Conway has so many amazing sports. One sport that we love here is our cheer team. They bring so much spirit and fun to our school. They had their state competition on December 21st, and it's so good. They put so much effort and skill in their routine, and it turned out amazing. They were at every game during the football season, which really got the fans and team cheering loud. They will cheer at every basketball game also. Senior Jessie Hull said that her favorite part of cheer has been cheering at the games. It's so fun being involved right with whoever is playing and cheer them on with the fans. She says it is such a fun adrenaline rush. Cheer is losing 10 seniors who dedicated 5 years to cheering on the Wampus Cats. These girls have worked so hard to come up with all the routines and leading the juniors and sophomores. Seniors Robert Cheer and Tori Darter said that the thing that they will miss most about cheer will be cheering at the football and basketball games, the bus rides, halftime performances, the after-school practices, and the people. We will miss our seniors very much and can't wait to see what they do in their future. Make sure you come out and see the cheerleaders and our amazing basketball teams play. Good luck and go Cats!
We don't schedule the appointments, but we connect them. We don't read the x-rays, but we stream them. We don't handle the procedures, but we power them. Here's to running the things that make business run smoothly. Conway Corp, always on.
Good evening, Wampus Cat fans, and welcome back to your Conway Sports Report. The Conway swim teams have both put together an impressive season so far. Both the girls and the boys have only dropped one meet due to an untimely bus malfunction. They'll travel to UALR this Saturday to face Little Rock Central. Good luck to them. The basketball teams look to open up conference play against the Southside Mavericks. The boys start with a record of 10-2, having won both the Bad Boy Mowers Invitational and the Cameron Hale Invitational. The girls will enter with an 11-3 record with the Dandra Thomas tournament win and a 5th place out of 32-team finish in the Sandra Meadows National Tournament. My name is Reed Hughes, and thank you for tuning in to the Conway Sports Report. And as always, go Cats.
You don't wake up thinking about internet speed, electricity, reliability. Your mind isn't on advanced treatment facilities or customizable systems. You don't have to think about any of these things because we do. Conway Corp, always on.
36-26 is our halftime score. Jeff and Levi with you. Stats, Justin, John, Javon, Ryan, Maggie, Greg, Kara, the whole crew. Whole crew here tonight.
The whole family.
It is good to be back together. And we got a big win in the girls game. 50 points, 77-27. Boys are up by 10. I would take a 10-point win. I'd take a 1-point win at this point.
Which they were down by 5
They were.
after the first. So let's do some math again. That's a 15-point
swing,
right? That's nice. Led in the first half by Caleb London with 9 points. And then just a smattering of points spread throughout the rest of the starting lineup. You had 3 other Wampus Cats with 4 points each. Conway shot 43% in the first half. 3-point line, not kind to Conway, just 2 for 9. But free throws, which they have not been shooting well through the first half of the season, around 57%. 71% tonight, 10 of 14. It's been a big reason why they've been able to climb back, take the lead, and build a lead.
Up by 10, 36-26, and they get the basketball to begin the second half. London, Boyd, Tull. It'll be Chase Boyd chasing down the offensive rebound. Lucas Foster and Jaden Williams complete the 5 that are starting the second half for Coach Salty Longing. Double figures now for Caleb London. He's got 11.
Both teams very even in the first half. 5 steals apiece, and both teams with 8 turnovers. So pretty clean game overall in the first half.
Williams goes up and pulls down the defensive rebound on the miss. Tull for 3. Back of the rim, no good.
Trey Tull, the second leading scorer for your Wampus Cats. The only other Wampus Cat averaging double figures in points. Whoa!
40-26.
The extreme outlet pass from Jaden Williams and Chase Boyd chasing it down and getting there just in time to get that shot off. It's impressive.
That's Franks. Mikhail Franks. He's their best player, and he's got 10. Out of bounds. And a timeout called early on here by Stuart Adams, the head coach for the Mavericks. We will take it with them, a 30-second timeout, and we're back on Conway Corp.
You got insurance to protect your car against other drivers, but are you protecting it against the muddy disasters it faces every day? Zip's Dirt Insurance has you covered. It gives you unlimited washing at any of our convenient locations, starting at $14.95 a month. That's less than 50 cents a day. Protection to keep your car clean without worrying about muddy mishaps. Zip's Unlimited Wash Club. It's like having dirt insurance for your car. Zip in, zip out, zip on.
14-point lead for the Wampus Cats. Again, worth noting, they were trailing by 5 after the first 8 minutes, but they've been impressive defensively. They gave up 16 points in that first quarter, and 26, that's all they've got since.
Yeah,
10 points since.
A lot of the struggles in the first quarter, they were giving up some really soft passes that were leading to transition points very quickly. They've cleaned up the passing, and that's really kind of slowed things down. And good time out there by Southside, because 14-point lead here in the second half. This Conway offense is very methodical. They're not in a rush. You're just not going to get a ton of possessions the later we get into the second half.
An offense that you will see most of the year for this team. They will put 4 outside the three-point line, move the ball around the perimeter, open up some space for Jaden Williams. Foster for 3. He's just been off by a little bit. he can get streaky. So one of these goes, he's able to hit 4 or 5 in a row.
Well, that was the term that Coach Longin used to describe him. He's streaky at times. So this is just part of the weathering the storm here, is eventually the streak will start going in, like you said.
Franks kicking it out. Three-pointer from the corner is no good. Jaden Williams with the rebound. Tall. Foster for 3. Got it. Bottom of the net. See if that keeps him hot here.
See, you knew that was going to happen.
I mean, I act like I did, but I didn't really. I hoped it would happen.
Lucas Foster leads the team in the number of three-pointers made. But in terms of shooting percentage,
out of bounds. Off of Southside.
3 for 13 now on the night. Conway is from behind the three-point arc. And you talked about it a little bit in the first half. They seem to like that three ball a little more than we've seen the past few years.
Yeah, they've got some guys that can stroke it. 43-26. When you're 4, which is what Caleb London is, can shoot the ball like he does.
Exactly.
Yeah, you've got a lot of guys who can shoot the basketball outside. Cats providing all kinds of pressure defensively. Southside able to break it. Blocked by Jaden Williams. Underneath, and it goes.
Block number 19 for Jaden.
Cross court. Foster. Got it. Bottom of the net. One more would constitute a streak.
Okay.
A streaky. That's just back-to-back. That's what that is. 46-28. Halfway through the third quarter. In and out, no good. Boyd with the rebound. Caleb London from 10. Count the basket. And at the free throw line will be the senior, Caleb London.
You can see why they have such confidence in letting him play down on the floor. It's his ability to just get up, and even with the contact there, to be able to finish.
Shooting well from the free throw line tonight also. The lead is out to 21 points, 49-28. Shot is no good on the baseline for Merrill. Trey Tull lays it over the front of the rim. Another timeout. 51-28, Cats pulling away. We'll take 30 seconds and we are back on Conway Court.
Education is all about vision. It requires commitment, investment. So we pour ourselves into Conway students and teachers, schools, and scholarships. A brighter future? Now that's powerful. Conway Corp. Always on.
(51-28). Levi told me during the break it's a 23-point lead for the Wampus Cats. That's good.
It is really good, yeah. They've just chipped away here in this third quarter. The three ball has finally started falling.
Yeah.
For Mr. Foster. He's still one away from being streaky.
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I think you got to hit 3 in a row to
hit 3,
be a streaky shooter on the good side. He's in double figures now with 10. Smith to Washington. Whistle, reach in foul. Just the second team foul. Kyler Spencer is going to check into the game. He'll replace Jaden Williams.
Coach Longin talked about Jaden and how it's taken him a little time to build up that endurance coming off of football. Such a different
Yes.
level of what's the word I'm looking for? It's a different type of conditioning. You know, it's all spurt driven. Got to have a little more endurance going up and down the floor. But he said he's been able to he's built it up to 6 minutes at a time, and which is not where he was at the start of the season. They've been real impressed with his ability to switch gears and switch mindsets and get in basketball shape.
6 minutes at a time, of course, 8-minute quarters, so a couple of minutes off the court and then the break between quarters. We'll see how that rotation continues, and it means a couple of minutes a quarter for the freshman Kyler Spencer, who's on the court right now, number 35. The senior Caleb London, he's averaging 18.8 points a game. He's at 17 as he comes off the bench, or comes to the bench rather, as Xavier Robinson comes off the bench and takes his place. Good 3 quarters of basketball there for the senior Caleb London. York spins, left hand shot will not go. Gets his own rebound. Wild shot won't go, but draws the foul. And Elijah York, 5'11 senior, going to step to the line. 2 free throws are upcoming. That is the 3rd personal foul called on Paul Harris.
Coach was telling me that, with Jaden Williams and Xavier Robinson and, of course, Bryce Bohannon, all these football players who are contributing heavily to basketball, or expected to anyway. This was the first time in a while that they had to push the start of the season back because they just didn't have those football players yet, and they were going to be so dependent on them. They didn't play their first game until December 3rd.
Yeah, they've started the season in mid-November and played a couple games even before Thanksgiving in the past. Franks for 3. Little run here by Southside. Paul Harris. That's Kyler Spencer. Bounce pass to Easley. Kyler for 3. Back of the rim, no good. Washington. Top of the key three-pointer, and it goes. Cedric Washington.
Crossed that 20-point threshold now lead back down to 18.
Jacoby Easley. That was interesting. Alley-oop to Jacoby Easley, then he hands the ball back off to Paul Harris, who puts it in. 56-36. Shot no good by Dawson Smith. And the Wampus Cats back in transition, knocked away. Outlet to Franks. He'll left-handed in the final minute of the 3rd quarter. Lead back down to 18. That's tall. Skip pass to Easley. Jacoby in the lane, no good.
Things gotten a little sloppy here in the last few minutes.
They have, yes. Paul Harris with the rebound. Foul will be called, the 3rd team foul against Fort Smith Southside.
Personal foul on the Mavericks, number 23, Dawson Smith, his 3rd team's 3rd.
Josh Merrill coming in for the Mavericks. Caleb London, Chase Boyd, and Lucas Foster, those 3 starters back on the court. They will join Paul Harris and Xavier Robinson as the 5 Wampus Cats out there for Coach Salty Longing. Robinson to London, 7 seconds. Down to 4. Got it, bottom of the net. Caleb London. He's got 20 through 3 quarters, and the lead back to 21 points for Conway. 60-second break, and we're back with the 4th quarter next on Conway Court.
Located on Robinson Avenue next to Laurel Park, the Conway Regional Rehabilitation Hospital is one of only 4 licensed inpatient rehab hospitals in the entire state. Patients are cared for by specially trained staff under the direction of an on-site physician who specializes in rehabilitation medicine. Conway Regional Rehab Hospital, your choice for comprehensive care to bring you one step closer to home.
Cats break the huddle at the end of the 3rd quarter as we get ready for the start of the 4th, leading by 21 points.
Conway just 2 3-pointers in the first half, but they get 3 here in the 3rd quarter. That 3 ball is finally starting to drop a little bit, and the free throws have been the other story for Conway, now 12 of 16.
That's good shooting.
Yeah.
12 of 16.
It's way better than 57% on the year.
Yes, it is.
That they've been shooting.
Yes, it is. So the Cats trail. There's a timeout on the court here. We'll keep it here and visit for just a second as the timeout happens even before the clock can start. So we've still got our full 8-minute allotment here in the 4th quarter. But in the 1st quarter, it was Fort Smith Southside who led 16-11, and then the Cats have just played great. There was a little spurt there in the 3rd quarter that gave them the 12 points that they scored. Otherwise, they'd have been in a single-digit quarter. They, of course, being Fort Smith Southside, but Conway's out to this 21-point lead. We talked about the success that they've had, really trying to kind of get their wits about them, whether it's adding a new player like Easley, whether it's bringing players up for conditioning's sake that have to get into basketball shape like you've talked about. But I think it speaks to the job that Coach Salty Longing and Coach Harrell and Coach Moon have done with this team through the first 12 games, or almost 13.
Yeah, Coach Harrell was in the office this week when I was talking to Coach Longing, and I gave him a chance to, what surprised you through non-conference, and he talked about the defensive production of this team and how quickly they were able to just create an identity and kind of figure it out on the defensive side of the ball. And like you said, in that 2nd quarter, you really saw that come to play as Fort Smith just 10 points, outscored 25-10 in the 2nd quarter.
Defense there causing a turnover. Robinson, Boyd, Foster, London, and Harris. Those are the 5 on the court. Caleb London tips it out of bounds following the miss. He's got 20 points on the night, leading scorer on the season and leading scorer tonight. He and Trey Tull both averaging in double figures. Caleb with 18.8 a game. That'll go up a little bit. Trey Tull, 10.3 points a game. Tipped away. Going to stay on this end, but a hand on the ball kept an easy layup from happening. Foul will be called. And if that's on Paul Harris, that's going to be his 4th. And it is. So 4 personal fouls now on Paul Harris. He's going to stay in the game. Play it out here with those 4 fouls. Frank's shot from the wing will not go. Ball tipped out of bounds. Conway keeps it.
Harris, of course, just a sophomore.
Yeah.
Getting some really valuable time for these Wampus Cats. And then Xavier Robinson, the other person that has had a really good night tonight, 6 points, strong defensive presence for these Wampus Cats. And I just like seeing more and more of these football players coming into basketball. It seems like every year we start to see more and more players want to do both.
Hoping to see Bryce Bohannon. And I need to get the story, and he's on the board behind. Okay, I'm turning around. You can't tell this because they're on television. But behind us are all the senior banners. And one of the senior banners includes another football player who's listed on the website, but I don't have the story on Shane Smith. Shane Smith is over there as a senior. He's listed on the ConwayWampusCat.com website, but I don't know where Shane Smith goes, so I don't know the story on that. But that's another. Bryce Bohannon, of course, we've talked about some tonight, so get the scoop on him.
And there's really no timetable from what I could gather on when Bryce might be back. I did hear that they did recently look at his ankle again and, ruled out any really serious problems that would keep him out for the whole year.
Okay.
So it's just taking time to heal, and you kind of imagine maybe it's a situation like we're going to see with Jaden Thomas with the Lady Cats. Maybe it's later in the conference season when they can get him back on the floor. But he adds just such a different dynamic to this team as well. He's just so fast.
And just takes minutes. All right, he's officially streaky now. Lucas Foster. Sorry, their coach came up off the bench, and I was afraid I missed something, but I don't think he was talking to me. I think he was telling the officials they missed something.
Oh, man, you know what? I haven't noticed, because when we're watching these games, we've always got these big headsets on that cover our ears. So we really only hear what comes through the mic. And let me tell you, when I was here in November or whenever that was that I came and watched the Lady Cats play, I sat about midway here in the middle, and I could hear everything.
Really?
I could hear everything Coach Hutchcraft was saying to these players.
Touchdown to Chase Boyd.
And it was wild.
To be able to hear everything?
Yes.
Yeah. Wampus Cats a couple of baskets away from having a running clock for the rest of this one. They are up 26 points.
Which is just so strange, because after that first quarter, it did not feel like we would be at this point.
No, not at all. Jacoby Easley's going to come in and replace Caleb London. That'll probably be the last we see of Caleb tonight. 22 points. Cynthia Baker, let's get it, Wampus Cats.
Well, they're getting it.
They got it, yes. 26-point lead. Appreciate you watching and checking in tonight. If you're just joining us, we got some new toys over the break we're excited about. Showing you the starting lineups that to come in, and some other graphic stuff and connection through social media. And honestly, it's because of you all, you watching and commenting, and the way that you have made these broadcasts in our 19th season of doing Wampus Cat Athletics so interactive that we wanted to find a way to show some of those social media posts to the folks that are watching and enjoying the games, whether it's live or whether it's tape delayed the next day or 20 years from now. So it's a fun thing for us to do, and we're glad to be able to do it. And at Conway Corp, we're very, very proud of 19 seasons of doing Wampus Cat basketball and Lady Cat basketball and Wampus Cat football. And the last several years, our sponsorship and partnership with Conroy Regional Health System and their sponsorship of these games and all that's meant. So love to do it. Glad to be back at it. It's been a long break since football ended. Looks like we're going to get 2 wins tonight. And then 2 weeks from tonight, we'll be back at it, back here at home. Final 4 minutes to play.
Jacoby easily picked up another 2 on Conway's last possession. He's had 6 points in his first minutes of action this season.
Offensive rebound. The Cats will keep it on this end. Easley Got it.
Jacoby Easley.
That's a nice weapon to have in the arsenal now.
Coach said this week we're gonna work him in, and it's gonna be a little trial and error for a while. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna
Not
be.
seeing a lot of air.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be much more trial at this point.
Just gonna work him in. Got some other players that are gonna be coming in, and quite honestly, we've got some players who are off of my spotting board. So we will quickly go to.
And I don't see him on Max Preps either.
Yep.
So
we're going to track him down. You folks at home you just wait.
Well, that's still Chase Boyd out there.
That's still Chase Boyd, still Jacoby Easley. I believe that is Jarius Holmes, who's in the game, number 3. Number 14 is Kimbrough Harrell. And I think that's Cade Swindle out there and wearing number 15. That may not be Cade Swindle. Well, you know what we need right now? We need a Samama. We need a Samama who's going to know who everybody is. And also remind me to make sure. Yep, 15 is Cade Swindle. I did find it on a sheet here.
The one right in front of you. That's
I haven't been looking at that one, Levi. Only done about 300 of these, so just be patient.
Oh, yeah, that one came from Coach Longley.
Yes, so that would be what I should trust that. So, yeah, Cade Swindle, number 15. Number 14 is one of the Harrell twins. It's Kimbrough Harrell. Shot is up and good by DJ Lockhart. This is good for me. I've got about 2 weeks now to make sure that I can get a larger roster to pull from at a moment's notice. Because here's hoping there's a whole bunch more of these type games.
I tell you, we put in a lot of hard work tonight, and we get a week off to celebrate.
I know. It's weird. They'll play 3 straight road games. Omarion Kennedy is in the game. Seems to be a classy student favorite. They make some noise as he checks in.
I don't think the classy students will have ever gotten home so early.
3-pointer, no good off the side of the backboard. Yeah, it's going to be an early night tonight. If you're tuning in expecting to kind of see near the start of the game, we're near the end of the game. Because of the storms moving in, everything got moved up. And the whole idea of that, Cade Swindle to the basket. Got the basket. Good for Cade. And the reason is to get the student athletes, the families home safely through what is expected to be some pretty severe weather tonight.
Yeah, not a lot of severe weather risk in northwest Arkansas, where Fort Smith, or where they'll be heading, but just trying to get them out of central Arkansas before all of this hits.
J-Ro Phone Soupfon with the 3-point play. Pass a little hard by Holmes. Cade Swindle, who I would pick in any race, is going to beat anybody down the court. He's a cross-country runner and comes from a great running family. Candidate for 3, too strong. Place was ready to erupt with that. 76-49. Lockhart with the rebound. We'll go to the free throw line. Wampus Cats are going to improve to 11-2 with this difficult road trip coming. At North Little Rock, at Cabot, and at Northside.
So what Coach Longan had to say about North Little Rock, I think I mentioned this earlier, but he said the most complete team they've had in a long time, and that kind of scared you because they've been really good the last few years. But what he meant by that was, some years they've had a good inside game, but not great outside shooting.
Right.
And some years it's been the complete opposite. Well, he said this year they've got both, and so that's terrifying, is what I'm trying to say.
See how that shakes out, and we'll have the return game here in a couple of weeks. Washington drains the three-pointer.
Cabot's been very good. Bryant playing without their best player who moved to another school, but they're still very talented.
Lockhart can't get it to fall. Basket goes for Bailey Proctor. And the final 30 seconds here. Kennedy will go to the free throw line.
I'm telling you, this bench, these classy students, they want him to get on that scoreboard. No pressure, but you better make one of these free throws.
Got it.
There they go.
Nothing but net. No problem. Good look at him there. Drained it. I had nothing to it.
If I didn't know the stat sheet and the poor free throw shooting in non-conference play, I would have never believed that they weren't good at shooting free throws.
Yeah, everything we've seen tonight proves that this is a solid team in that department. I guess the work that they've put in since the non-conference came to a close has paid off. $79-55. In the past, we've always talked about those 20-point quarters. If you can have 20-point quarters, that averages out to 80 points in a game. If you score 80 points, you're going to win. That's just how, that's something that you're going to try to do every time, is try to get to that threshold. They're going to tonight. 79 points, a very, very impressive performance, and a great final three quarters. That's 79 points in the game with only scoring 11 in the first quarter. Final score, 79-56. Cats win. What are some of the final numbers?
Well, he had three players in double figures tonight. Caleb London leading the way with 22. Lucas Foster got streaky in the second half.
He did.
3 3-pointers. He finishes with 13 points. And Chase Boyd, 10 points. Jacoby Easley, 8 points off the bench. Expect to see more of him. And I think the stat of the night for me has got to be the free throw shooting. Coming into the season, shooting 57% as a team. Tonight, 75% from the free throw line, 15 of 20.
Good night to be a Wampus Cat. There you see the classy students. Good job by our crew tonight, our entire Channel 5 crew. Conway Corp Sports Production just stepping right back in after about 6 weeks off and not missing a beat. Great job by everybody. I appreciate their hard work. I know it's been a long day for many of them, and we're glad that it's a little after 8 o'clock and we can wrap up and everyone can get home and be safe, and let's hope that the severe weather is not what is being predicted. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back here in 2 weeks when the Cats are back home against Central. We'll have that game for you live right here on Conway Corp. Good night, everybody.